Just drop the mic and then leave, especially when we're talking about safety. The parents were here this morning. The parents were outraged. The parents, I saw one of the parents holding up a cell phone. 5 fights a day. We're not talking about regular fights. We're talking about 5 gang-type fights a day, 5 fights in regards to weapons. We met a couple weeks ago with the lieutenant governor, and she is going to run for the governor. And we talked about the board cuts a couple years ago in regards to the cuts against the school police department. I will be nice, but she was a bit outraged. Her next question was, what are you doing about it now? My response, I believe, a little bit of doubling down. She's a female Democrat that was on the Obama administration. I think she was the ambassador to Hungary. What good are laws? What good are rules without somebody to enforce them? She could not believe that this went on. And she understands the frustrations of the moment. She understands the frustration of the George Floyd incident. Horrible incident. Fast forward to today, parents after parents, and parents are starting their own parent groups, and they're getting emboldened, and Latino parents are starting to form their own parent groups, and they're emboldened. Because, you know why? Because on a Maslow's level of self-actualization, danger, safety is towards the bottom, and biological death, such as when somebody gets stabbed or killed on and around our campus, creates a visceral response in people. And I wish Cecily would come here, please, to address this. You could watch the Disney Channel, and on Disney Nat Geo, you could watch people in far-off lands making ghost guns, getting pieces of ship, carving it out by hand, making an exact replica without a Department of Justice stamp on it, without a gun registration on it. They put it on a ship and they make like $300 a pop, and they get to the United States. That is what a ghost gun is. And they get to our LA Unified schools. That is what a ghost gun does. Now, is a teacher supposed to disarm a student? No. No, they're not going to put their credential. If you look at the educational code, they're supposed to intervene, but they don't think they need to. As a matter of fact, teachers, God bless them, they're educators. They should educate. They don't do yard supervision. They don't. The counselors do, right? And the administrators do. So the counselors and the administrators, they want police back on campus. I'm not here to say that. I'm here to talk about the parents' frustrations. Our children are watching Disney Plus, Nat Geo, yes, and they're watching on how to make a ghost gun. And what do you think that these administrators are finding during administrative searches? Ghost guns. What do you think the school police people are arresting individuals with? Ghost guns. Why ghost guns? Because they are untraceable. Because you could commit a crime and they are untraceable. We're all over the news. We're all over the Times. And I can't believe that we're having a politically charged and ideologically charged conversation about keeping children safe. Outsourcing, privatization, we're privatizing security, we're privatizing police work, the only person that could go after somebody with a weapon effectively and with the training is a police officer, period, that's it. Are we gonna put our officers train the campus aides. I go to the campus aide training, they train the campus aides. They train them to be safe, they train them to look for something, see something, and call the police. Everybody needs to call the police. The fallback is calling the police. And when the ETA, the estimated time of arrival of the police officer is 15 to 20 minutes for a deadly situation, that is unacceptable. The world is seeing this. Channel 2 is seeing this. LA Times is talking about this. They're talking about it on the governor's office. When I went and spoke to the Office of Education, they pulled me aside after I spoke, and this was maybe a couple months ago. They could not believe what is going on here. You are all good people, but you are not police officers. You are not specialized in keeping people safe. You have good intentions. Board Member Malvo, I know you're trying to push legislation to minimize or to stop guns from coming in some fashion. The kids are watching on the Disney Channel. On the Disney Channel, it is infiltrated in our schools, and we are doing nothing about it. I don't want to talk about the Washington incident again. 3 safe passage people did nothing, and one of them, God bless her, said, call the police. This is not call the police. And you know what the other videos show that they're online? A female, I believe it was a dental assistant, and a female school police officer just off training down there rendering aid to this poor child that ended up dying of a gunshot wound. And we do not address this with real protectors. Some of you, I'm speaking to the choir. If you're running for a board seat, and you are anti-police and you think that we could, with love and counseling, we could fix the world's problems, then where have you been? Miss Cecily, where are you? Let's not rant. Let's not rant behind a group of people. Do you go to the incidences when children are shot? I've been to when your teachers were punched in the face and they called me up. What do you do for them, right? We all had great raises. Thank you very much. I don't think that people should be cut. That is something different. Safety is on a different level. Latino parents are threatening to send their kids to other schools because the charter schools could have safety, they could have police officers, but not the district schools. They don't know what to do, but they're starting to rally. They're starting to get a voice. They're starting to realize that this is not traditional politics. So, I don't know, I would call it supplanting. When we start to privatize, if we had a police force, we cut the police force, we transferred money into something else, and then now we're gonna start paying private citizens that we have no control over to keep our children safe, not to help them stay on the right path, to keep them safe while they're to and from school. Somebody please, how does a regular person without legal authority and training and the God-saving tools on their police tool belt, how do they keep children safe from guns, weapons, gang fights? They're all over the media. How do you keep them safe? Please answer. And if you're running for board president, address this, please. How do you keep people safe, right? And I know that people talk about the activist groups, and nobody likes to get bombarded by the activist groups, but the news media is salivating over this thing. It's not making sense. It's not making sense at all. If you're running for board district, whatever, what is your stance on police officers? And nobody's talking about criminalization. Don't polarize issues. Protection, 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 non-criminalization. With a school police officer, you actually have input in what goes on with the school police officer, with the student you're serving or the parent you're serving. We're not LAPD, we're not LA County Sheriff's Department, right? I do not need a group behind me to chant, but please, somebody come in and challenge me. Challenge safety. Say that there wasn't a funeral for this poor child at Washington Prep High School. You think I like doing this, but do you think I would like watching UTLA doubling down with their president, glossing past people being shot and killed on campus and around campus? Horrible. You do not deserve to be yelled at. And I'm not yelling at you, I'm yelling at the fact of things. Things have gotten crazy. At least Cecily didn't send a student group to do her bidding this time. Call me, we'll have a conversation, a true conversation about safety, a true conversation on how you keep children safe. So, a true conversation, and it's not about money. It's about, as the superintendent, I don't even want to, when you put black ink to cold paper when your child died, that is, whatever mistakes we make in regards to safety, it's done with all good intentions. Whatever mishap is done with all good intentions. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.